Welcome to my first flip spelling lesson. While we were back at school, we were working on some vocabulary words and concepts that will help us as we talk about how words are spelled. So we're going to review those first before we move on to our new learning. So we learned that vowels are sounds that are open and voiced. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U. So when we say those sounds of A, E, I, O, and U, our mouth is open when the sound comes out. We learned that there are two types of vowels. Those are long vowels, like A, E, I, O, U. When the vowel says its name, we call that a long vowel. And so we'll write a little line over it just to remind us it's long. The line's very long. We can also have a short vowel. That's a, I, and we'll write a little curved line. We put the curve in it to make it a shorter line. We put a little curved line to mark it a short vowel. And that's how when we write a letter, we know the difference between long and short because you can't hear writing. You have to know it. So we use a little line or a curved line to mark it long or short. And that's the vowels are really the key to the language. And that's why we started there. And we're going to use that in our new learning today. All right, the other thing we learned were about consonant sounds. Consonants are sounds that close the mouth. The sound is blocked by our tongue, teeth, or lips. So when we hear a consonant sound, somewhere in our mouth has to be closed. Even if it's way back here, like the back of our tongue, closing our throat, or if it's up here at the top or in our teeth or in our lips, somewhere has to block that air coming out to make that consonant sound. Okay, so all English words are made up of vowels and consonants. All right, now we're going to add some knowledge to that. So one thing you need to know about English is every word has to have a vowel. And so vowels are really the key to figuring out how words are pronounced and how they're spelled, because a lot of the rules depend on those vowels. So we're going to talk about vowels and how they work in syllables. Okay? Syllables are small chunks of a word. You actually learned about these back in kindergarten and first grade when you were clapping out words. Remember clapping out words like elephant, kangaroo, cowboy, pencil, right? We would clap for each chunk of the word we could hear. That's exactly what we're going to use to help us both with reading and with spelling. Because what that does is it allows us to break a word into a smaller chunk, a smaller rule-following chunk. And that's us tackle that one chunk at a time to move on to the next one. And that's how we build onto reading and spelling those longer words. Today, we're going to learn a slightly more accurate way of counting the syllables because it's really easy when you're just clapping it out to stretch it and kind of add extra sounds in there, which would not be very useful for spelling. So we learned that every syllable has a vowel. In fact, every syllable only has one vowel, and that's what helps us tell what a syllable is. It's a vowel surrounded by whatever consonants it has. Some syllables are just one vowel by themselves. So what we're going to do is count the vowels in a word or a syllable. Well, that's kind of hard to do when you say the word and you're just listening. So we know that vowels are open sounds. They're going to open our mouth. What we can do for a more accurate count is to actually count how many times our mouth opens. And so the way to do that is you place your hand under your chin and say it's touching it, but I'm just going to count how many times it pushes down on my chin because that's opening. Or you can look in a mirror or in like a camera and you can just see your mouth open and how many times it opens. So like, let's take a word like geography. I'm going to put my hand under my chin and I'm going to count how many times my chin moves. Watch. G, A, gra, phi. Let me say it a little faster. Geography. There are 4 syllables. G, og, gra, phi. You can see my mouth opens one time in each syllable. Okay. Let's try a little easier one, like Monday. When I say Monday, you can see my chin drop twice. Monday. Now, sometimes your chin is going to open more than others. Like E is a much smaller sound than ah, right? My chin drops more on ah than it does E, but it still counts as an opening. Okay? So let's try some. Count the syllables in holiday. Pick your favorite way. Either watch your chin or test it by pushing your hand. Count the syllables in holiday. Holiday. There's 3. Hol, day. Good. Tri-syllable. Syllable. There are 3 syllables in syllable. Let's do a little bit harder. Kindergarten. Kindergarten. 4 syllables. Kindergarten. My mouth opens 4 times when I say that word. Mississippi. Mississippi. 4 syllables. Try the word swell. Swell. 1 syllable. My mouth only drops once. Try the word burned. Burned. 1 syllable. Important. 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 3 syllables on that one. Hope you get those right. And that's a really great way to practice counting the number of syllables in a word. Now that we know how to count how many syllables on the word by counting those vowels, we need to talk about the syllable types. There are 6 types of syllables, but we're not going to learn all that at once. We're going to learn about the most common syllable type, which is the closed syllable. Most of the words in the English language follow that rule. So a closed syllable ends in a consonant. The vowel in a closed syllable is short, coded with a breve. The closed syllable is the only syllable that uses that short vowel sound. Remember, that's the a, e, I, sound that we learned about. This helps us with reading, but mostly in spelling, because when we hear that short vowel sound, we know our chunk is going to have a closed syllable, and that can help us decide on some spellings. So let's review our new learning, and then we're going to practice this in words. Okay, let's review our learning. Today we learned that vowels are open and voiced. We learned that there are long vowels that say their name and short vowels that say their sound. We learned that consonants are sounds that are closed. Syllables are the smallest rule-following chunk of a word. Syllables have 1 vowel sound in them, and it's the pattern of that vowel that tells us what syllable type it is. There are 6 syllable types. Out of the 6 syllable types, we learned about a closed syllable. A closed syllable ends in a consonant. The vowel in a closed syllable is short, coded with a breve. And that's a little breve right there, a little curved line to show you that that vowel is short. All right, so now we are going to take what we know about syllables and vowels and consonants and apply them first in reading, because that's something we can do and I want to show you that it works, and then we'll use it on our spelling. So let's take this word. The first thing we're going to look at is our vowels, because those vowels are so important. What is the vowel in this word? E is our vowel. So E is our only open sound. We can tell that this word is a 1-syllable word because it only opens our mouth 1 time with 1 vowel. The next thing we want to decide is what type of vowel it is. So for that, we're going to look at the end of the word and the vowel pattern. The vowel pattern is it only has 1 vowel. And at the end of the word, D is a consonant. So remember, in our definition of a vowel, we said that, our definition of a syllable, we said that a closed syllable ends in a consonant. Does this syllable end in a consonant? D is a consonant and it's ending the word. So this word is a closed syllable. What do we know about the vowel in a closed syllable? The vowel in a closed syllable is short, so we code it with a breve. This little scoop just reminds us that that's the short sound of that letter, because E can say E or E can say eh, and being the short sound, we know it says eh. So now we know all the sounds to this word and we can read it d, fled. Let's look at another example. If I have a word like this one, again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the vowel. I have 1 vowel, which is, you guessed it, U. U is my vowel, okay? I know this is a one syllable word because it only has one vowel. So I'm going to look at the one vowel and I'm going to look at the end of the word to see if I can figure out what kind of syllable this is. My word ends with two letters this time. M is a consonant and P is a consonant. Oops. And I know in a closed syllable, it ends in a consonant. Even though there's two here, I really care about this one ending sound. It ends in a consonant, so I know the vowel in a closed syllable is short. I'm going to code it with a brief. So this short sound tells me that U says, and so now I can sound out the word and read it. Stump. All right, so now that we can see that that works with one syllable words, let's move on to two syllable words. So I know a word has more than one syllable based on the vowel patterns it shows. Let's look at this word. What are the syllables in this word? We have A and I. So I can see that these vowels aren't working together in any patterns I know. And so this word is going to be two syllables. When we were looking at our one syllable words, we looked at the end of the word to determine our syllable type. We can still do that here on this part of the word and tell what syllable type this last one is, but we need to decide where that first syllable ends. It has to end somewhere in here before this next syllable, or before this next vowel. So we have to decide where that ending piece is. And we're going to do that based on the vowel pattern. Okay, so we're going to label the different consonants in this word as well. So F is a consonant, B is a consonant, R is a consonant, C is a consonant. All of those are consonant sounds because they close our mouth when we're trying to make them. All right, now when we're trying to find the end between the vowels, we really only care about this pattern right here. This is called the VCCV pattern. It is one of the most common patterns you'll see when we're splitting words, and is one of the reasons why we're doing it first. When we see the vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel pattern, we're usually going to split it straight down the middle. So I'm going to do that here with this word. So I'm going to split it in between the consonants, which is in between B and R. So when I see this pattern, I'm going to split it straight down the middle, and now I know what my two syllables are. This is my first syllable, and this is my second syllable. Now I can follow the same steps that I was on those one syllable words in figuring out each piece. I'm going to start with this first syllable here. This first syllable ends in a consonant, so I know that it's a closed syllable. In a closed syllable, the vowel is short. Code it with a brief. So I know this A says ah, and I know this syllable says fab. Now I can hold on to that idea, and I have it written down, so in case I forget it, I can read it again. And I can move to the second syllable. If I look at this syllable also ends in a consonant. So I know that it's a closed syllable. The vowel in a closed syllable is short. Code it with a brief. I know this short I says and I can read this syllable, rick. So now I have both syllables. I have fab and rick for the word fabric. Awesome job. Now that you know what steps to expect, let's try another word. Again, we're going to look at the vowels first. Then we're going to look at the vowel pattern and decide where to split it. Then we're going to use that split to decide each part of the word. All right, let's try it on a word like this one. Now, I know you may be able to read this word, but we're still going to walk through it because we want to make sure it works before we use it for spelling. All right, what are my vowels in this word? A and I. I can see that this is going to be a two-syllable word because it has two vowels. All right, so I'm going to remember, look at the pattern between my vowels. I have this vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel pattern. And when I have that pattern, I'm usually going to split right between those consonants. So I'm going to split between those consonants, which ends up being between my P and my K. Now I'm ready to decide what types of syllables these are. All right, let's look at this first syllable. It ends in a consonant, so I know that the vowel will be short because a closed syllable ends in a consonant. The vowel in a closed syllable is short. Code it with a breathe. Short A says ah. So we have nap. All right, let's look at the second syllable. This one also ends in a consonant. So I know the vowel on this syllable is short because the closed syllable ends in a consonant. The vowel in a closed syllable is short. Code it with a breathe. I know this short I says I. So I know this part says kin. Napkin. So you can see how these will help us read words. And it takes a little bit of practice to combine all this vocabulary into new ideas. All right, grab a piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how we can use this for spelling. All right, so if I want to spell a word, first I'm going to count the syllables by using my chin method or watching my mouth drop. And I'm going to tack one syllable at a time. So if I want to spell the word, let's use napkin since we just did it to show you how it works. If I want to spell the word napkin, I'm going to put my hand under my chin, napkin. I noticed that my chin dropped twice, so I have two parts. And I heard the first part was nap. So first I'm going to spell nap. I'm going to think of the sounds I heard in nap and then make a letter for each of those sounds. So the first sound I heard was N. Ah, that's short A. P. I can look at that part, nap. Did I spell nap? It ends in a consonant, so I know this A is going to be short and say ah, so I know that's nap. Then I can look at the second part of the word, napkin. I hear the second part is kin. Let me think about my k sound. I know that's K. And if you don't know that's K, we'll go over the rule of when to use C and when to use K for the k sound very soon. All right, so I heard kin starts with k. I is short I, so I know I need to end this word with a consonant. N, napkin. So I did every single step, but as we know how to spell things, we will not need so far of those steps. Sometimes you just need to break it in pieces because we know how to spell nap and we know how to spell kin. So those would be easier pieces that I didn't need to go to the letter sound, but I just wanted to show you that you could. All right, now it's your turn. Use my strategy to try to spell submit. Think of the parts of submit. It has two parts, submit. So first spell sub. All right, the second part of submit is mit. Spell mit. All right, let's check our work. So first we spelled sub, b. Then we spelled mit, it. Check your work. Did you get it right? Excellent. All right, let's try another easy one. Spell suntan. Think about the parts of suntan. Sun, tan. First, you're going to spell sun. Then you're going to spell tan. All right, let's check your work. Sun, tan. Excellent. All right, let's get a little harder. My next word is index. Think about the parts in index. Index. So the first part is in. Spell in. All right, the next part is dex. Think about the sounds in dex. Let's check our work. First, we spelled in. I-N, just like the word, in. Then we spelled dex. I heard a d, e, x. Index. The index is what you can find at the back of a nonfiction book to help you find where information is on certain pages. Index. All right, let's try a little bit longer one. Spell contest. First, think about the parts in contest, and then the sound in each of those parts. All right, let's check our work. So when I say contest, first I hear con, then I hear test. I'm going to spell con first. K-ah. Now I'm going to spell test. S. Contest. Hopefully that helps you spell longer words, especially those with closed syllables. Next time, we'll learn some more.